Did you know the average American now spends over $12,200 a year just eating out? That's rent for a month, a used car payment, groceries for a small family. And for millions of us, a big slice of that money gets funneled into one place, McDonald's. It's fast, it's familiar, and it's everywhere. But here's the truth most people don't think about. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's a good deal. Some of the most popular meals on the McDonald's menu aren't budget-friendly at all. They're engineered to look affordable while quietly draining your wallet with inflated prices, low-value combos, and misleading portions. So today, we're pulling back the curtain on 12 McDonald's meals that are total ripoffs, and how smart shoppers are avoiding these traps completely. And trust me, item no. 1 will make you question everything you thought you knew about value at McDonald's. Let's get into it. 12. Hash browns sold separately. They look innocent. Golden, crispy, just sitting there on the breakfast menu like they're doing you a favor. But here's what most people don't realize. Add just one to your order, and suddenly your breakfast costs more than a full sandwich combo. Seriously, a guy I talked to recently had a habit: 2 hash browns every morning on his way to work. Quick, easy, under the radar. Then one day he checked his bank statement. $4 to $60 a week, just on fried potatoes. That's over $230 a year. The cost of an entire monthly grocery trip at Aldi. All for something made with shredded potatoes, oil, salt, and a layer of convenience. The real kicker? These sides are priced higher per ounce than full-value menu items. And yet, because they're small and familiar, we don't question them. But here's the truth. Just because it's a side doesn't mean it's a smart buy. If you're watching every dollar, and let's be honest, most of us are, this is the kind of quiet drain that adds up fast. And if you think that's bad, just wait until you hear what's hiding in your burger toppings. 11. Cheese slice upgrades on any burger. You ever tap that little add cheese option without thinking twice? Most of us have. It feels harmless, just a small upgrade for that creamy, melty satisfaction. But here's where it turns sour. Some McDonald's locations charge up to a full $1 for a single slice of processed American cheese. That's not gourmet cheddar from a specialty deli. We're talking about the same square you can buy in bulk for pennies. Think about it. That $1? That's nearly the cost of a whole cheeseburger off the value menu. You're literally paying premium price for something that already comes included on most sandwiches. One guy told me he added extra cheese to his quarter pounder thinking it'd feel indulgent. What he got was a barely there difference and a receipt that made him question every topping on that menu. And that's the trap. These quiet, unchallenged upgrades are where fast food chains make their margins. It's not just a slice of cheese, it's a silent drain on your wallet, disguised as convenience. It might not feel like much in the moment, but when you're counting dollars at the end of the week, these little extras can be the difference between staying on budget or falling short again. Bottom line, it's not flavor you're paying for, it's marketing. And when your food budget is tight, you need to see through that slice before it melts your money. Sneaky, right? Well, the next one takes fake deals to a whole new level. 10 2 for $5 deals that aren't deals. At first glance, it feels like you're winning. 2 sandwiches for $5? Sounds like a solid bargain in 2025. But here's where the trap kicks in. Some of the exact same items go for as low as $2 each inside the McDonald's app. Do the math. That deal just cost you more. I got a message last week from a regular viewer who was livid. He used the 2 for $5 offer thinking he was being savvy, only to realize later that ordering the same sandwiches separately with digital coupons would have saved him $1. And for someone watching every cent, that's not small change. That's a gallon of milk, that's gas money, that's one less financial mistake. This kind of pricing trick plays on impulse. You see it on the menu board, you act fast and you think you're getting ahead, but you're not. When the math doesn't math, it's not a deal. And that's the rule we live by here. Before you fall for the in-store hype, slow down, open the app, and check for hidden offers. Because smart shoppers don't just look at the price, they look underneath it. That one's frustrating, but the next item? It's a total bait and switch wrapped in a fancy name. 9. Artisan Grilled Chicken Sandwich. It's got the perfect name, doesn't it? Artisan Grilled Chicken Sandwich. Sounds fancy. Sounds lean. Sounds like something you'd grab when you're trying to eat cleaner on a budget. But what you actually get? Dry, flavorless chicken, a soft, forgettable bun, and a sandwich that tastes more like disappointment than dinner. Let me break it down. You're paying nearly the same price as a premium burger, expecting something close to a Chick-fil-A experience. But what shows up in that wrapper? A lukewarm slab of chicken that chews like cardboard and a bun that sticks to the roof of your mouth. One subscriber even told me it reminded him of the microwave sandwiches they sell at gas stations. But at least those come with a warning. This isn't nutrition. It's not indulgence. And it's definitely not value. You're not paying for quality. You're paying for the word artisan. And in the world of fast food, that word means absolutely nothing if the taste doesn't back it up. So if you're trying to stretch your dollars and eat smart, skip the marketing gimmick and go for something that actually delivers. Disappointed? You're not alone. But what comes next proves that more doesn't always mean better. 8. Triple cheeseburger. At first glance, it feels like a deal. 3 beef patties, stacked high, dripping with cheese. It must be worth the money, right? That's exactly what McDonald's wants you to think. But when you break it down, the triple cheeseburger is a textbook example of how more doesn't always mean better. It's heavier, yes, but it's also greasier, messier, and way less satisfying than what you could get by simply ordering 2 McDoubles for less money. Here's what smart shoppers are figuring out. With 2 McDoubles, you get more bread to balance the salt and fat, more structure so the sandwich doesn't fall apart in your hands, and often a better bite-to-bite experience overall. The triple? It's all meat, barely held together, and almost always drenched in grease that soaks through the paper before you take your second bite. One viewer even told us, "It looked like a monster meal, but by the end, I just felt sick and cheated." This is the illusion of value. You're not paying for better taste or more satisfaction. You're paying to feel like you got something bigger. But when bigger comes at the cost of balance, comfort, and your money, it's not an upgrade, and it's a marketing trap. And in today's economy, you can't afford to chase hype when smarter, cheaper options are right there on the menu. And speaking of illusions, the next one might look healthy, but it's hiding a sugar trap you didn't see coming. 7. Smoothies, strawberry banana, mango pineapple. This one's sneaky, and that's what makes it dangerous. McDonald's smoothies are marketed like a healthy grab-and-go option. They've got fruit names, bright colors, and that refreshing vibe that makes you feel like you're doing something right for your body. But let's be real. These things are basically dessert in disguise. Flip the nutritional label, and you'll find a 16 ounces cup can pack up to 42 grams of sugar, more than a bottle of soda, with barely any real fruit fiber to balance it out. One viewer told me she grabbed one of these thinking it would be a light alternative to soda. She was shocked when her blood sugar spiked, and even more shocked when she checked the ingredients. Juice concentrate, artificial flavors, and mostly ice. And the price? Almost identical to a McFlurry. You're not getting nutrition. You're getting a sugar bomb with a health halo wrapped around it. And here's the frugal kicker. You could buy 5 bananas for the price of 1 smoothie. Real fruit. No additives. No gimmicks. So if you're trying to save money and make better choices, skip the smoothie and grab something that actually nourishes your wallet and your body. Because no matter how good it looks in the ad, a wellness label doesn't make it a smart buy. Ouch. But nothing stings quite like the overpriced extras coming up next. 6. Extra bacon on anything. We get it. Bacon is the magic word. Add it to anything and it instantly feels more indulgent, more flavorful, more worth it. Until you check your receipt. McDonald's charges up to $1.80 to toss a couple of strips of bacon onto your sandwich. And we're not talking thick-cut, sizzling perfection here. Most times, it's 2 flimsy pieces, paper thin, often overcooked to a crisp or underdone and rubbery. Either way, it's not giving what it promised. One subscriber sent us a photo that honestly looked like a joke. He paid $1.70 to add bacon, and what he got was 2 sad, broken half strips that didn't even stretch across the bun. Not crispy, not satisfying, just there, floating like garnish. That's not an upgrade. That's a $2 lesson in disappointment. And here's the thing. That same $1 cents could have bought you a small fries or a full value item. But instead, it disappeared into a sandwich that tasted no different, just more expensive. Bacon might make everything better, but in this case, it's not flavor you're paying for, it's the illusion of luxury. And when every dollar matters, illusions are the first thing you should cut. Think that's bad? Wait until you see how one simple combo turns a budget meal into a money pit. 5. McChicken combo. The McChicken by itself? It's a classic. Cheap, familiar, and surprisingly decent for what you pay. That's why so many people reach for it. It feels like a win. But the moment you tap that combo button, everything changes. Suddenly, that $2 sandwich becomes a $6.49 meal. And all you added was a small fries and a drink. 2 of the most inflated high-margin items on the entire menu. I actually ran the numbers myself. Ordered the McChicken combo, 6 off $49.9. Then I built the exact same meal manually using app deals and coupons. $4 hints. Same food, same satisfaction, $239 saved. That's not a minor difference. That's over 35% more you're paying just for the convenience of tapping one button. And let's be honest, when you're watching every dollar, that's the kind of lazy trap that adds up fast. This is one of the most common pricing tricks in fast food, bundling basic items under a feel-good label like combo, then quietly padding the price. But smart shoppers know the truth. You're not saving time, you're just spending more. So next time you're at that kiosk or drive-through window, stop, breathe, and build it yourself. Because in this economy, convenience comes at a cost. And you don't owe McDonald's a tip for handing you a paper cup. That one stings. But the next item takes the healthy label and completely destroys it. 4. Premium wraps. They look sleek. The packaging is clean. The name even sounds responsible, Southwest Grilled Chicken Wrap. And for anyone trying to eat a little lighter, it feels like the obvious choice. But let's strip away the branding for a second. What you're really getting is a tiny, overpriced roll-up with soggy lettuce, barely there chicken, and enough sauce to drown any nutritional value. One wrap costs over $5, and yet it's half the size of a standard sandwich. I've seen snack wraps with more volume than this so-called meal. And the kicker? The sauce, usually some chipotle mayo or creamy Southwest dressing, adds over 200 empty calories, plus sugar and sodium, completely wiping out the healthy illusion. It's like ordering a salad and dumping ranch dressing all over it, then calling it clean eating. This isn't about eating light. It's about looking like you're making a better choice while paying more and getting less. These wraps aren't built for health. They're built for margin. And when you're on a budget, there's nothing smart about paying $5 for a handful of wilted lettuce and a splash of marketing. And if you thought choosing fruit was the safer option, just wait until you hear this next one. 3. Apple slices or fruit sides. On the surface, this one feels like a smart swap. You skip the fries and go for the apple slices. It sounds healthier, lighter, maybe even smarter. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Those apple slices are pre-packaged, pre-treated with preservatives, and often cost more per ounce than buying a fresh apple from the grocery store. You're not getting orchard fresh fruit. You're getting a processed convenience product disguised as a wholesome option. And it gets worse. Because these packs are prepped in bulk and sit under heat lamps or in refrigeration bins for hours, what you often end up with is limp browning slices with that strange chemical aftertaste. One subscriber told me her kid bit into one and immediately asked if it was fake. That's the experience you're paying a premium for. Not freshness, not quality, just packaging and illusion. Healthy doesn't always mean budget-friendly. And in this case, it doesn't even mean healthy. If you really want to add fruit to your meal, stop by a local grocery store or pack your own. Because when McDonald's charges you more for factory-sealed fruit than you'd spend on a crisp, fresh apple from Aldi, you're not making a better choice. You're just making an expensive one. Almost done, but the next sandwich will make you think twice before ever hitting that deluxe button again. 2. McCrispy Deluxe Sandwich. McDonald's markets this one as the ultimate chicken experience. Just the name, deluxe, makes it sound like you're getting something extra, something better. But here's the reality. What you actually get is a dry, flattened piece of chicken between a bun that barely holds it together, with lettuce that looks like it gave up halfway through the shift. And the price? In many locations, it's pushing $7 for a sandwich alone. We actually put it to the test, side by side with Popeyes and Chick-fil-A. Same conditions, same day, same expectations. And McDonald's? Dead last in flavor, size, texture, and satisfaction. It's not juicy. It's not crunchy. And it sure doesn't feel deluxe. One viewer even said it reminded him of something from a cafeteria line, not a fast food giant's headline item. The word deluxe is supposed to mean better. But in this case, it's just decoration, a label slapped on something bland to justify a higher price. And when you're trying to stretch your budget, you don't have room to pay $7 for mediocre chicken. This isn't an upgrade. It's a downgrade in disguise. And finally, the #1 McDonald's ripoff. And trust me, this one will change how you see breakfast forever. 1. Breakfast platters, big breakfast, deluxe. They hit you with the visuals. Scrambled eggs, a warm biscuit, hash browns, sausage, maybe even pancakes depending on the location. It looks like a full Southern-style breakfast for the modern fast food world. But under the surface, It's nothing but basic, low-cost ingredients bundled together and marked up like it's brunch at a sit-down diner. You're paying $6 to $8 for pre-scrambled eggs, a frozen sausage patty, a dry biscuit that crumbles on the first bite, and hash browns that were probably cooked an hour ago. I once saw a guy recreate the exact same plate at home, using store-brand eggs, frozen sausage, and a toaster biscuit, and it cost him $1.87. And his version, hotter, fresher, bigger. This isn't a value meal, it's a breakfast illusion. It plays on comfort, on familiarity, on that treat-yourself mentality first thing in the morning. But when you strip away the tray and plastic cutlery, what you're left with is the most overpriced meal on the entire McDonald's menu. It's not how you start the day right. It's how you start by overspending. Fast food isn't the enemy, but the marketing behind it often is. These chains spend millions to make us believe we're getting value, when in reality, we're just being nudged toward overpriced upgrades and carefully disguised traps. Because this isn't about spending less, it's about spending smarter. And when you start seeing fast food through that lens, every choice, every dollar, starts to work in your favor. So now I want to hear from you. Which one of these McDonald's ripoffs surprised you the most? Have you ever fallen for one of them? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and your story might just help another smart shopper out there. And hey, if you're wondering which fast food items actually do deliver real bang for your buck, you'll want to stick around. In the next video, I'm exposing the underrated sleeper deals that McDonald's doesn't promote, but savvy customers are quietly cashing in on. See you there, and until next time, stay sharp and shop smart.